Hey guys, I wanted to make a video today on the anonymity of the Panther swap development team. A lot of people feel certain ways about that. First things first, I need to get this out of the way. Saying the word anonymity is not my strong suit. That's a tough word to say. I'm going to try to avoid it. I'm going to try to say anonymous instead. Sometimes you can't get around it, so bear with me while I'll try to pronounce the English language. Okay, so when it comes to the anonymousness of the development team, I can see both sides of both opinions on it. Me personally, I don't mind that they're anonymous. I think there's pluses and negatives to it, as I think there's pluses and negatives to not being anonymous. So first of all, we got to take into account the decentralized nature of cryptocurrencies and just kind of the culture around it. You know, the whole point of the crypto is to get rid of the middleman, get rid of the banks, get rid of all that. And the first OG cryptocurrency, the first one to really solve the problems, was Bitcoin. There was some before Bitcoin, but they weren't what they needed to be. So Bitcoin, that's really the first one. And we still don't know who the creator of Bitcoin was, right? Satoshi Nakamoto. That's all we know. There's like clues, and he has like a history of posts and whatever. But so the creator of all of this, the whole thing, everything spawned from Bitcoin, really, is still anonymous to this day. And we can talk about, like, is anybody really anonymous? Because you got the NSA, you got all these government agencies, Google, Twitter, all these things are government agencies. They've been government agencies since the beginning. Every device that we use is bugged. So is anyone actually anonymous? Who knows? That's another story. In like recent history, you got the Bitcoin guy who made Bitcoin, and you got Edward Snowden. And Edward Snowden is not anonymous. Obviously we know who he is, but he was able to remain hidden to some degree. He's been able to remain free in a semi-anonymous way. I don't want to say nobody, because like I said, these people, Satoshi Nakamoto, Edward Snowden, my guess is they know and obviously they know who Edward Snowden is, but my guess is they know where and who these people are. I don't know though. I really don't. That's kind of another topic, but the question is, like, is anyone actually anonymous? Like, the Panther devs, if you wanted to figure out who they are, somebody could do it. I'm not saying I could do it. I don't have the resources or the technical knowledge, but I'm pretty sure anybody can be found. So beyond that, when it comes to our investments, that's kind of a side note. When it comes to our investments, well, it's sort of a side note because the Bitcoin guy is still anonymous and nobody cares. Bitcoin is the OG crypto. It's always going to be number one. The point of that is it's not about who made it. It's not about the dev team. It's about the fact that you can research it yourself. You can learn a program and you can read the code yourself. So that's kind of the main thing, is the team doesn't need to be non-anonymous if everything is above board, transparent, and you can audit everything yourself. Why do you need to know who they are if you can audit everything yourself? Well, just in case everything goes to shit, you want to be able to hold someone accountable. But at the end of the day, can you really hold anyone accountable in the first place? If any one of the companies in the stock market scam you or take your money, are you personally going to be able to hold them accountable? No. And that's what the justice system and the government's for. Is the government holding anybody accountable when it comes to the financial institutions? No. So even if they were not anonymous, not to mention this is a decentralized system, these people could be an African, or they could be Indian, or they could be Russian, and so jurisdiction comes into play. If you're an American and you're investing in and this is all hypothetical, you're investing in something and the creators are all in Indonesia, what are you going to do about it? You're not going to be able to do anything. So when it comes to accountability in these projects, we're all investing in risky decentralized cryptocurrencies. knowing the dev team isn't going to make much of a difference there. The more popular something gets, like, I don't know, there's a lot of legal jurisdiction that you'd have to study. You'd have to get a lawyer, because imagine if Vitalik Buterin, something happens with Ethereum or whatever, what can you really do about it? You can't do much about it. First of all, he's not American. He's probably not the same country citizen of origin as you are. So what legal system are you going to use to come after Vitalik Buterin if he takes everything from Ethereum? You see what I'm saying? So even if these guys weren't anonymous, it's not going to add much liability. Now, what could it add? It could add like investor kind of like confidence in their product, because you have the illusion of accountability. So if you do know who the devs are and something goes wrong, you feel like you might be able to like get your money back, or I don't know, hold someone criminally responsible if crimes are committed, etc., etc. But like I just said, that's not really gonna happen anyway. So even if it's an American company scamming Americans, well, now you need a working justice system, and that's not available either. So what else? Just the sole fact that they're anonymous, I don't really care all that much. These are all kind of personal decisions that you have to make. I don't care because of the reasons I said. Like, I have Bitcoin. I don't know who made Bitcoin, and I don't need to know. I actually don't want to know. Like, when it comes to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in particular, I hope they never find out who made Bitcoin. It's the point of it. If we knew who made Bitcoin, it would go to shit. Like, when Bitcoin starts to slow down and the network gets bad, everyone's going to go, oh, Bitcoin creator, fix it. And he's going to go, that's not the point. It's decentralized, etc. Or he's going to do something to fix. So we don't, in a lot of ways, we don't want to know who these people are. Another thing, when you start making waves in the financial institutions and you start creating platforms of decentralized markets and you start creating all these things, I don't want to get conspiratorial or whatever, but the people who make the money run the world. So the people who are invested in making money, central banks, governments, they're not just going to sit by and let a new group of people create the next financial and monetary institutions. So by being the people creating Bitcoin and Panther and Ethereum, you're putting a huge risk on yourself, no doubt. No doubt. So that's another reason why you'd want to be anonymous. Here's another thing. People are people. So Elon Musk runs Tesla, right? And SpaceX. Elon Musk is a controversial character. Whether you like him or you don't like him, he is controversial. A lot of people hate him. A lot of people like him. Because of that, he can manipulate markets. And he can also make a big fool of himself and destroy his whole company simply because he's extremely popular and well known. Another example. I don't know if you guys are old enough to know this. Some of you guys are older than me, some of you guys are younger than me. In 2012, I was like 17 or 18 and I was graduating high school. There was this really weird thing called Coney 2012. And all of a sudden, overnight, American teenagers, all of a sudden, because of the media and because of social media, they ran some kind of social media propaganda campaign on all of us, similar to how they're doing today. This is all facts. This happened. I was alive for it. They got all the American teenagers in high school to all of a sudden care about some African warlord named Coney in the year 2012. We never cared about this guy. No one even know who this guy was. You couldn't name one African warlord. We all know there's African warlords. But overnight, they got American teenagers to put banners to make their whole school philosophy about Coney 2012. Like, it's hard to describe and it sounds stupid to even talk about it, but this shit happened. everywhere across America, teenagers were like freaking out over Coney 2012, some African warlord. No one knew who this guy was beforehand. Now the point is, they also got you to all like the guy who was like, oh, I'm gonna take down Coney. I'm gonna take down Coney. Just some dude, right? Just some dude in America, or I don't know where he was. I'm gonna say America. He wasn't gonna go to Africa and take out Coney himself. This whole thing was like some weird like propaganda, see what they could get people to do type shit. I'm not gonna try to get into the reasonings why, but everything I'm saying is true. Everything I'm saying has happened. Why I think it happened, you can ignore that. But what I'm telling you happened. So then they got you to like follow this guy who's trying to take down Coney. And then the point of all this is the guy who we were supposed to love to take down Coney, like a week later, he gets caught, he gets videotaped like jerking off on a public sidewalk. My point is, sometimes when you put a face to a product, that face can ruin the product. So one day you're being convinced through propaganda to hate this African warlord. The next day, the guy who's supposed to take him down is jerking off in the middle of the street naked. So sometimes you don't want a face attached to the product. Sometimes you do. You got to decide for yourself what you think about the devs being anonymous. For me, it doesn't really bother me. I see both sides of it. I see both sides of it. So you got to decide for yourself. I think I hit all the major points. I don't think there's any plans for the devs to become not anonymous. What do I think they could do to kind of improve relations a little bit? Now this will kind of like, if you're trying to remain anonymous, you don't want too many links to yourself, right? You don't want to be too active. So as the Panther team, you could create some fake profiles, which they kind of do. Like, I think the devs do talk to the Telegram group every once in a while under, like account names. So you could have account names and you could still have a line of communication to your investors and try to remain anonymous. I'm sure that's difficult. I'm sure it's not easy to remain anonymous, or you could have somebody, you could get marketing. You could have someone like me, or you could have people do that for you, and then you would communicate to them anonymously, and they would kind of be a face, more of a face for the product. But again, then you run into the whole Coney 2012 type things. Hypothetically, I become a face for Panther. Well, what if next day I'm jerking off in the middle of the street? You know what I mean? So there's a pluses and negatives to both ways you want to look at this. It's a different world in the crypto market, because if the guy who runs Apple was anonymous, people wouldn't be too happy about that. But it's a different story with the crypto. It should be more transparent. It should be decentralized. It shouldn't matter as much who the devs are, but it is what it is. That's pretty much. I don't want to keep repeating myself. I think I hit the major points. Me personally, I don't really mind. And if they weren't anonymous, that also comes with its own problems. So, especially in this day and age when everyone's trying to look into your past, and maybe they voted for Trump or something, and if they weren't anonymous, they get canceled. You never know. You never know what it is. So you gotta think about this stuff yourself. And yeah. So appreciate you guys for watching. Oh, we're doing the lottery today, the Panther giveaway. It's March 14th. So we're doing a live stream. Stay tuned for that. And the referrals, they fund the lottery, the giveaways, and they fund the Panther charity initiative. So click the referral link. It has no cost to you, and it funds all the cool shit we're doing here. So, and makes me be able to make these videos. It makes it to where I can do all this stuff. And I'm really trying to get, we've had 100 subscribers already. Well, almost. It's like 89 or something in like a week. So I want to thank the community. I want to thank Panthers. I want to thank Panther Swap and the team and the dev team for, you know, making all this, even putting all this into existence in the first place. And I want to try to get to 1,000 subscribers at some point, because that's when your channel gets monetized and shit. So yeah, anyways, I appreciate the growth that we have had, and I appreciate all you guys for watching the videos. Have a good one, guys.